The film Wonder Woman is undoubtedly part of the action film genre. Action films are usually built around an emphasis on fights, chases, and explosions, and include a lot of special effects and stunt work. Usually in this genre, the protagonist is pulled into a series of events that include violence and fights. As the genre action suggests, the film usually builds up to different scenes that include what I mentioned before. Many movies feature an action sequence, but to be correctly categorized into this genre, most of the content of the film should be centered on the action. In the film Wonder Woman, a young girl named Diana is raised on an island paradise, sheltered by her mother and the other Amazons of Themyscira. Diana longs to be like her aunt, who trains in the art of war. When she is older, an army pilot, Steve Trevor, crash lands on the hidden island, and Princess Diana rescues him. Diana and Steve end up leaving the island and going to London to try to stop the war that she believes is influenced by the god Ares. The beginning of the film really shows one of the key aspects of action films, which is when the protagonist is being pulled into the action-filled events. The beginning of the movie is more a recap of her earlier life and outlines Diana's want to be a warrior and her curiosity about the outside world. A common theme in many action films is adventure. In Wonder Woman, you see Diana growing as a person in so many different ways and going through so many different experiences. A main example of this was that her whole life, Diana was taught that the struggle between good and evil was equal to man and Ares. She comes to realize through her journey that nothing is that simple, and we see her discover that through the film. Other aspects of the film that correlate strongly with the action genre are extended fights, extensive stunts, rescues, battles, escapes, and disasters. Action movies generally include some sort of military action, and considering that the whole movie is set during a war makes this self-explanatory. Throughout the movie, you also see her journey into realizing that Diana was what she was really looking for all along. Another part of her journey includes her realization of good versus evil, and her perceptions of that seem to vary throughout the film. This is one way that I think that this film slightly varies from other action films, because they usually have a very clear distinction between good and evil. I do think that this film has a distinction, but it definitely fluctuates throughout the film. There are also many examples of common filming techniques for action movies that are prevalent in Wonder Woman. One of these would be the establishing shot, which usually sets the scene for a big event or fight, such as this one here. Another one is the protagonist moving through the landscape. Once the scene is set, this is used to provide greater details about the scene, and it is the time to bring your character into the scene. Another very common shot is the close-up shot, which dramatizes the scene, and this is when the action starts to increase. All of these techniques are commonly used in dramatic scenes in action films, and it is definitely not a coincidence that they are used a lot in Wonder Woman as well. Overall, I think that Wonder Woman is a prime example of an action film because it really captures the main themes of the genre.